Hey guys, welcome to 3 and Out. You can check out the podcast below in the description. And here's what I need you to do. Make sure you subscribe to the Volumes YouTube channel to stay up to date to everything we're doing here on 3 and Out and the Volume. Justin Fields, he threw, get your notepad down. This is a fact. I had to double check it because I got a text message. It's true. The Chicago Bears had one net passing yard. One net passing yard. I said it before the game. You have to do things to make it easy on the young guy. You can't just drop him back against this defensive line with his skill set and expect him to pick you apart or expect him to pick the defense apart. He clearly could not do that. They were not rolling out the pocket. They were not playing to the guy's strengths. He is the third fastest quarterback in the NFL. Lamar, Kyler, and him. They run 4.4s. Get him on the move. Instead, they dropped him back like he's Peyton Manning or Tom Brady. Nagy's my guy. Known him for a long time. John DeFilippo, the quarterback coach. I consider them both friends. That today was embarrassing for their coaching staff. It really was. I get the guy's raw. I get they have been preaching to everyone. He's not ready. They might be right. They did not do themselves any favors. As the game kept going on, Myles Garrett, who is clearly just pure talent, he's one of the most talented defensive linemen in the history of the league. With that size, with that explosion, with that speed. Think of in NFL history how many freak defensive linemen there have been. He's in the top 2 or 3 of just pure talent. Speed, size, power, ability to bend. He's fucking got it all. And they're leaving him on an island against Jason Peters, who once upon a time was one of the greatest left tackles in the history of the league. I mean, probably a Hall of Famer. But he's 40 years old. You're leaving him on an island against this guy. He can't even touch him, even when he gets a good set, let alone when he's not paying attention and Myles goes right around him. They set up the guy to be killed. Today was a low point for the Chicago Bears. I did not expect them to win. Of course not. They were, I think, a 10-point underdog, as well as they should have been. The Browns are a good team. Not a great team. As you see, they got some flaws. Baker can be hit or miss as a passer. Run game's awesome. Their defensive line's awesome. And, I mean, Myles Garrett, I think Burkhardt said it, like, today was a joke. I mean, it looked like you were watching. I would imagine that's what, like, if you looked at the top defensive lineman that's going to, like, Ohio State or Georgia or Alabama, that their high school games would look like Myles Garrett today, where it's just like every game, 4 or 5 sacks, going up against offensive linemen who can't even touch him, quarterback running for his life. I mean, but this was the National Football League. This was the Chicago Bears. And this notion that, like, Andy Dalton, here was my thing about throwing Justin Fields in. Andy Dalton would have been killed as well today. What the hell's the difference? You might as well just let the young guy attempt to learn through this. Now, you have to put plays in the playbook that's conducive to his success. Get him on the move. He is not just going to drop back and play like, he's Drew Brees or Phillip Rivers or Peyton Manning. That is not this guy's skill set, especially for a rookie. Get him moving right. Get him moving left. Utilize his legs. Why didn't they run some option? Why didn't they steal some plays from the Baltimore Ravens? They just went in like Andy Dalton was their quarterback. Complete head scratcher. And they got clowned, embarrassed on national television. I mean, I'm in California. This was the only game I truly got just on my national television slate in the morning. Thank God for Red Zone. Thank God for the Ryder Cup. Because I was feeling bad for the guy. I was like, is this kid gonna make it? You finally get a start. You get drafted really high, and then you just get thrown to the wolves like that. It shows you this league is about coaching. This league is about adapting. Nothing bothers me more in the sport of football than this is us. This is what we do. I remember this summer listening to Cliff Kingsbury talk to Sean McVay and Peter Schrager on his podcast. And he dropped a line like, I was watching some tape this offseason, and I loved what Sean did with so-and-so concept. He's like, but we don't have that in our playbook. That's not what we do. Imagine saying that out loud as a coach. That's not what we do. We don't major in those concepts. Well, yeah, Bill Walsh didn't run certain plays that other organizations ran, but if he saw it in the play work, he'd put it in the fucking playbook. right? Isn't the goal, it's just to do things that work. So if you see other people running plays and it's not quote unquote your core philosophy, but you go, hey, that works, wouldn't you institute it? Think about whatever business you're in right now. You could be in the insurance business, but if you go into a restaurant and you see something that you can utilize in your own business, you don't steal that? I listen to people talk just about sports, life, all day. I have the TV on. I have a podcast going. I'm constantly listening to other people talk. And whenever I hear something that gets my brain going and go, God, I could use that for the show, I steal it. And then I talk about it. What are you doing? I'm at a loss that they had all these plays like they were rolling out basically Andy Dalton or a true pocket quarterback on a team that Ryan Pace is an embarrassment. The offensive line that he built on his team 4 years in. This is not year one. He's been the GM there longer. Right? This is actually Nagy's fourth year. He'd been there well before with John Fox. This is, it sounds like I'm being critical of the coaching staff, and I am, but this is equally on Ryan Pace, who built an offensive line that's a laughingstock. I mean, an absolute laughingstock. Their only hope to play left tackle was a guy that they drafted this year that had red flags about back issues coming into the draft. They had to call 40-year-old Jason Peters, I think he's 39, but I rounded up, who was retired, basically, to then play for them and immediately start him. That's how desperate the Bears were. And now they're in the situation where, and I say this all the time about rookie quarterbacks, you saw it with Trevor Lawrence, threw a bad pick today. McCorkle in New England looks awful. It's hard because this game is very, very difficult. It's hard for 32-year-olds who have been in the league for 10 years, let alone for 21, 22, 20-year-old rookie quarterbacks. You have to put things in the playbook that, put their strengths at the forefront of your offense, that put them in positions to succeed. It's not about what you know. Coaches love talking about how much they work during the week, how much time they spend in the film room by themselves. No one cares. You don't get any credit for that come Sunday. How many hours you slept. Okay, you average 3 hours of sleep Monday through Thursday. You want a cookie? Because I'm watching your players. They don't know what's going on. And then just basic things like you spend all this time in a film room and you can't put help for Jason Peters, right? Or if you're Ryan Pace, you spend all this time working and scouting these players, and this is the offensive line you roll out? Should be ashamed. I mean, absolutely awful. It's gonna be rough sailing for Justin Fields just because they can't protect him. And his playing style, get rid of the ball fast. Yeah, it's not fair to ask a 21-year-old guy to be able to think like he's a 10-year vet. You have to ask him to do things that he has a chance to execute with his own skill set when he's making his first couple starts in the NFL, especially against, arguably the best defensive end in the league right now, when you have tackles that, might not be able to block me or you. So it's just, it was a shame what we witnessed on Sunday morning. Thanks for watching 3 and Out. You can check out the podcast below in the description, and make sure you subscribe right now to the Volumes YouTube channel.